Yatra vaterno bhagavan paramatma narakriti yadosa srachit kosta naloriper iti shruta satvara sunavastatra satajit pratamatmaja mahahayo ranuyayo hayaya seti tatsuta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the Super Soul in the hearts of all living entities, descended in his original form as a human being in the dynasty of or family of Yadu. Yadu had four names, named Sahasrajit, Kosta, Nalu, Ripu, and Ripu. Of these four, the eldest, Sahasrajit, had a son named Satyajit, who had three sons named Mahahaya, Renuhaya, and Ahaya. Purport. As confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 1-11. Vadanti tattatva vidastatvam yachyanam atvayam prameti paramatmeti bhagavaniti sapyate. Learned transcendentalists will know the absolute truth, call this non-dual substance, Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. The majority of the transcendentalists understand only the impersonal Brahman or localized Paramatma. For the personality of God is very difficult to understand. As the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 7.3, Manusyanam sahasreshu kashit yatata sidhaye yatatamma pisidhanam kashimam vetitatfataha. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. The yogis and jnanis, that is, the mystic yogis and the impersonalists, can understand the absolute truth as impersonal or localized, but although such realized souls are above ordinary human beings, they cannot understand how the supreme absolute truth can be a person. Therefore, it is said that out of many siddhas, the souls who have already realized the absolute truth, one may understand Krishna, who exactly resembles a human being, Narakriti. This human form was explained by Krishna himself after he manifested the Virat Rupa. The Virat Rupa is not the original form of the Lord. The Lord's original form is Dvibhuja Syama Sundar, Muralidhar. The Lord with two hands playing a flute, Yam Syama Sundranis Asintya Guna Swarupam. The Lord's form are proof of his inconceivable qualities. Although the Lord maintains innumerable universes within the period of his breath, he is dressed with a form exactly like that of a human being. That does not mean, however, that he is a human being. This is his original form, but because he looks like a human being, with a poor fund of knowledge, consider him an ordinary man. The Lord says, Avajananti mamudaman manushim tanam ashrita prambhavam ajananto mama bhuta maishva. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion over all that be. Bhagavad Gita 9:11. By the Lord's param bhavam or transcendental nature, he is the all-pervading Paramatma, living in the core of the hearts of the living entities. Yet, he looks like a human being. Mayavadi philosophy says that the Lord is original, originally impersonal, but assumes a human form and many other forms when he descends. Actually, however, he is originally like a human being. And the impersonal Brahman consists of the rays of his body. Yasya Prabha Pravato Charananta Koti. Brahma Samhita 5:14. I read the verse, translation again. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the super soul in the hearts of all living entities, descended in his original form as a human being in the dynasty of the family of Yadu. Yadu had 4 sons named Sasrajit, Kosta, Nala, and Ripu. Of these 4, the eldest Satrajit had a son named Satrajit. Of these 4, the eldest Sahasrajit had a son Satyajit, who had 3 sons, Mahaya, Renuaya, and Ahaya. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharani Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskachai Desatarani. In the purport here, Srila Prabhupada makes the point how very rare it is that there is a devotee, and only a devotee can understand the Bhagavan feature, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, Krishna gives us the method how to understand him in Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Mama Abhijaniti Yavyasasmi Tatvata. That only by pure love can Krishna be understood. At the end of the 1154, he says, "O Arjuna, you can understand me only as I am standing before you by Ananya Bhakti, pure devotional service. But there are other transcendentalists, because the Absolute Truth has 3 features, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and they are all the Absolute Truth. So they are also transcendentalists, those who attain Brahman or Paramatma also. But they are not realizing the Bhagavan features of the Lord. But if one realizes the Bhagavan features, has included Brahman and Paramatma realization. But Brahman realization is only the Sat realization of the Absolute Truth. We are Brahman, we are eternal. Good news. And when they attain these eternal states, they are peaceful. They are peaceful, Brahma, Buddha, Prashanatma, but they are not satisfied. That's the difference. They are peaceful, but not satisfied. And also the yogis who want to merge with Brahma and will realize Brahma, Paramatma, they are realizing the Sat feature and a part of the Chit, not completely. Some knowledge is there, but still they are not satisfied. They are peaceful, but not satisfied. They are transcendentalists, but not satisfied. And why is that? Because the soul wants bliss, Ananda. And this Ananda is only available in our relationship with Krishna. So you must go further. It's not just that we know I'm not his body, and we remove all the contamination from our heart by an ardent yoga practice, which is very difficult. Aruna Krishna Prampadam Padat Krishna. The Lord Brahma said, with great endeavor. They come to that stage, but still they cannot remain there because they are not satisfied. You want relationships, that the soul is active and want relationships, And that relations, the perfection of that desire for relationship is realized in our relationship with Krishna through bhakti. And without this bhakti, there is no relationship, there is no bliss. It's nice to be peaceful. They attain Brahman. After taking so many births, it's all finished, you are peaceful. But then after a few millions of years, nothing to do here. It's boring. Nothing to do. It's peaceful, yes, but it's boring. Yeah. So Srila quotes the verse of Brahma, Aruna Krishna Brahmadam Pada. So with great endeavor, but then they come down again. They come down again to the material world to have relationships. So finally, this is not a solution. That it has stages of coming to bhakti, but one must go further. And we don't have to go to these stages. We go automatically to these stages by performing devotional service. It's a process from Shraddha to Prema, 9 stages. Shraddha, you have faith. Sadhusanga, accept initiation, association with devotees, and then you start bhajana kriya, the practice of devotional service. You learn it from them, and then after a few years, anartha-nivritti, you become purified, and then it takes 10, 20, 30 years, and you are purified. You come to nistha, and nistha is Brahman realization. And then after nistha, you get ruchi, because you are Atmaram. You become attracted to hearing about Krishna. And you come to asakti. You realize Krishna in the heart as Paramatma realization. But then you have to go further. Bhava, the preliminary form of love, and then prema, love for Krishna. So then it's included in bhakti. We don't have to endeavor for this separately. But the problem is with this, those who are going for Brahman, the Jnanis mostly, also sometimes Yogis, and the Paramatmitis, those who are going for Paramatma realization, that they don't see the whole. They see only a part of the absolute truth. And they conclude that's the absolute truth. And it's like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj speaks about blind men. They are blind from birth. And 5, 6 blind men, and they have never seen an elephant. And they come in touch with an elephant. And someone is in touch with the legs. I think, oh, an elephant it's like a tree. It's very, yeah. And another say no, because he gets in touch with the ears which are flapping. It's flapping like an elephant. That it's or another as the trunk, and said, oh, it's moving all the time and making noise. So they have all their idea of the elephant, but they cannot understand the whole elephant, what it is, because they have parts, and that is a blindness. But they are also transcendentalists. They are beyond birth and death. Good, very good. But they enter the Brahmajyoti. They cannot go to the spiritual world. But to go to the spiritual world, you must have bhakti. That's the passport. Bhakti. Because what do they in the spiritual world? They serve Krishna in his personal form. So if you are not accepting the personal form of the Lord, then you cannot perform devotional service. You must know the person, the personality of Godhead. So that is But Srila Prabhupada explains it is very rare that someone comes to the understanding as the Supreme Lord, as the goal of our love. That it's very rare someone who understands what is Bhagavan. This verse of in the 6th canto of the Bhagavatam, there on the Parvati. Yeah, Shiva speaks to Parvati. And there it says, Muktanama Visidanam Narayana Parayana Sturlabha Prasantatsmako Chava Mamuni. So that this is Sukadev Goswami instructing Maharaj Pariksit that it's related later to the pastime of Lord Shiva and Chitraketu. Says, O great sage, among many millions who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation, one may be a devotee of Lord Narayan or Krishna. Such devotees who are fully peaceful are extremely rare. So, among millions of who are liberated and perfect in knowledge of liberation, two conditions: liberated and have perfect knowledge of liberation. And millions of them, maybe one, not sure. Maybe one may become a devotee of Krishna. So rare, that's explained here. So, because I was thinking, I came to this Hare Krishna movement, and they say Krishna is a coward boy, a blue coward boy. I say, I was thinking, you have all these religions. Why no one of all the other religions have the realization that God is a blue cowboy? Why is that? This verse explains. Where is the knowledge of liberation in all these religions? You must know that you are not a body. Where is that knowledge? It's just not there. And then those who are liberated, who is liberated? If you don't have knowledge of liberation, how can you become liberated? Where are the liberated souls in all these so-called world religions? So yes, they cannot understand Krishna's position. That without, first you can start to understand Krishna after liberation. If you develop devotion after liberation, but not before. How rare is that? How rare are we, devotees of Krishna? That Srila Prabhupada wanted to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. And he said, and devotees asked Prabhupada, should we make everyone a devotee of Krishna? Prabhupada said, if we can make 2-3% of the population Krishna conscious, it will be our greatest success. That it's so rare that we see that. Anyway, yes.
In that connection, also how Krishna consciousness will spread is that a few very fortunate souls will get a lot of Krishna consciousness to become full-fledged.
Yeah.
Very small.
Yeah, very.
But the rest, millions, perhaps millions, will get a little bit.
A little bit.
The few will get a lot, and the rest, the mass, will get a little bit. But even that little bit brings them up a lot.
Yeah, even a little bit. Krishna says, yeah.
Get away from their spiritual potential.
Yeah, Nami Bhaktiya Pranashate, my devotee never perishes. And Ananda Sintiyantiman Yechna Parapasti Tesham Nityayukyam. Ja, Ananya Sintyantamam, Yejna Paripasan, Sate. Well, this verse says, Ananya Sintyantam Yejna Paripasan, Tesham Nitya Bhuktam Yogaksema Vamyam. I give my devotee what I protect this Krishna consciousness, even 2%. It remains 2% next life. And it gives opportunities to go further. So that's good. But, yes.
Also, my understanding that it's very rare, bhakti is rarely achieved.
Yeah.
But yet there is also Guru Kripa. It's like by the mercy of the pure devotee, then you can bear Krishna Shakti, by hearing from them, it grows with them. It really amplifies our own spark of devotion. So Guru Kripa can bring us very far ahead and way beyond our own capacity.
It's only by the mercy of the devotees of Prabhupada. It's all His mercy that we are here today. And His mercy continues to flow through the parampara. And that's the only reason we can make spiritual advancement.
And if we try to share that mercy, we get even more mercy.
Yeah, just trying to share, you get mercy. That's our hope. Our hope we get mercy someday. Oh, yes.
Yes. Thank you for this. I'm just thinking, what is Paramatma realization? Because it seems to me like Brahman realization, merge into the Brahma Jyoti, the Bhagavan realization, you can go back home to God or Krishna. But Paramatma realization, you just stay where you are and you just realize that you have Krishna in your heart and you see Krishna in everybody's heart and you're Paramatma.
Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, says, it is true that Siddhartha Prasantasna, Paramatma Samahita, when the mind becomes peaceful, the influence of the modes is gone, we find Krishna in the heart as the super soul. And the yogis, they find Krishna in the heart. And they realize this Paramatma is controlling material nature. And what happens? Nothing. Unless they become the highest yogi, they understand that this Paramatma is an expansion of Krishna. If they understand that, then yoginam api sarvasam madhyanantratmam shadvam pachdeyamam same yuktatamam matra. Highest yogi, Krishna says, is one who is united in love with me within the heart. And that's the bhakti. But you have to come to bhakti.
But a yogi can become a devotee if Krishna rewards their sincere endeavor. The yogi can become a devotee.
By the mercy of a devotee, they can become a yogi. Yeah, certainly. The cause of bhakti is a madhyamadikar in Montreal meaning. Srila Vishwanath Bhakti Thakur analyzes. So bhakti you must get from one who has bhakti. If they come in contact with a devotee, and then they get bhakti, they come to that point. But on their own endeavor, mostly, doesn't happen.
Krishna doesn't reward. I mean, we can person reward a yogi to take birth in an environment or family.
Yeah, that's mentioned in the Gita. If he if he has a long practice, he does not make it. Then he takes birth in a family of advanced transcendentalists. Then he gets a chance. And Prabhupada said, I was in that case. My father was a pure devotee, Mohan, and also my spiritual master that Bhaktivedanta Saraswati was in that case. He was also a pure devotee. He was the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who was a pure devotee. And then later we met in the system of Guru Parampara. We met through the transcendental system. That so, yes, that mercy will be there, but there is the point that Krishna reciprocates with the desire of the yogi. Is he really averse to the personal form and he thinks Brahman is everything? Then that will not happen. They may take birth in a family of advanced transcendentalists, but not devotees. That Krishna reciprocates with the desire. It's never going to give something that a person does not want. That he must be open for it. That's Krishna. He respects our free will. And he's not going to push something. It's up to us. We must want. And if they are open for that, but it gives them opportunities for sure. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, right. Yes, but with the last question.
Yes, it seems like the devotee and they are different. The big difference is they accept Krishna.
Yeah.
As or like why you explain like we're just accepting Krishna. We're just accepting Krishna as God, and then we're eligible to do bhakti.
That's what this eligibility for doing bhakti is explained in Nectar of Devotion. But Srila Prabhupada also speaks about that in the sense that he writes in introduction in Bhagavad Gita, at least when one studies Bhagavad Gita, one must be open to theoretically accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of God. That openness must be there. And then there's a chance to understand Bhagavad Gita. Good. Thank you very much. Chantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.